You can start wherever you want to start with the Giants, buddy.
Well, like the Logan Webb thing's interesting. You know, he had such a monster 2021 season, and you see this a lot from pitchers. A guy has really, really, really good success, a couple of really nice months, but that doesn't mean that's who he is. Like we throw these words around like ace. So-and-so's dominant.
Right.
Like, okay, Verlander has had 20 years of success. Kershaw, who they're going to face on Wednesday, has had almost 20 years of success. You know, those guys are like top of the top. You know what I mean?
We talk about Hall of Famers.
Right? And then you look at guys that have like 5 to 7 years of success. I would throw Lincecum into that mix. Do you know how many guys have a great 3 months?
A lot.
Right?
A lot.
A lot. All right. And I'm not taking away from his great 3 months. What I'm saying is like when people just throw the term ace around flippantly, like Sandy Alcantara is an ace. Multiple Cy Young Award level seasons under his belt.
Jacob DeGrom.
Jacob DeGrom, when healthy, right? You know what I'm saying? Max Scherzer. Those are aces. Okay, Garrett Cole, who you've seen. And even Garrett Cole, there are a lot of people that would push back and say he's not even on that level, but I think he is.
Yeah, I have pushed back with Garrett Cole, but he is still he still has dominant stuff.
Exactly. He's a level above. Just because I say that doesn't mean you can't be good. But like when he's your number one and back-to-back years, you have lost a guy who gave you ace production in Gausman and Rodon. You're asking a lot from Logan Webb to carry the rotation.
Well,
and what I mean by carry the rotation, when I gave Lincecum the ball every 5 days, I knew he's getting me into the 6th. Back then, it was even more, the 7th. He's getting me into the 6th, and I'm going to have a chance to win that game either 2-1, 3-2, 4-2, something like that.
Yep.
Right now, Logan Webb's 0-3. The ERA's ballooned. It's early in the season, but he didn't have great stuff last year.
No, he didn't.
And I thought he pitched better than the stuff that I saw on television.
Well, the stuff last night was not good.
No.
He's catching way too much zone with the sinker, way too much zone with the slider. And look, these are 3 straight aces he's had to face. Garrett Cole, Dylan Cease, and Julio Urias.
Who led the National League in wins last year.
And Urias is really good, but he can be hit. He can be hit, but he's legit.
And I wouldn't even know if I put him in the ace category.
No, he's a solid number 2, number 3. He's not your top of the rotation guy. You could have trouble if he's your top of the rotation guy.
Walker Buehler was their ace.
You know what, though? He's good.
No, he's really good.
Logan Webb right now looks like a 3-4. And it's interesting because everybody talked about the money. What are they going to do with Logan Webb? Extension. Well, push back on that. We make it to a point this season where it's like, do you trade the guy?
I know.
And I love the guy. He's from Sacramento.
I know.
The streets are starting to call him Long Ball Logan. They're starting to call him Long Ball Logan because he's giving up home runs. He's getting hit in the zone. He's not walking anybody, but guys in the box feel very comfortable against him.
Is it too easy, B? And you tell me if I'm being like too baseball nerdy. And I don't even know if I believe this. Is it as simple as, well, he had a Hall of Fame catcher with one of the greatest minds ever who was helping him call games, and now they clearly have below major league level catching.
I don't know how much I put into the catcher position.
Right?
I can't. Is your stuff good enough? The stuff last night, I don't care if Carlton Fisk was catching him. You're going to get hit when you're... He's just catching too much of the zone. And it's not like he's throwing with velocity. No. He throws 92, 93.
No, he's a hit your spots kind of a guy.
He's more Greg Maddux than he is some of your Kurt Schillings or power pitchers that you've seen in the past. So Logan Webb, like, again, long ball Logan right now, giving up the home runs. That's 4 so far in 3 starts. And he's 0 for 3. And he's not setting the tone. So we know the hitting is going to be hit or miss. And last night I'm thinking, all right, match Urias. This needs to be a 1-1 game. This needs to be a 2-1 game. You couldn't even get there. Max Muncy and Mookie Betts owns him. Mookie Betts owns Logan Webb.
Is awesome.
He is awesome, but he owns Logan Webb.
Yeah, he does.
So you know what? Logan Webb's not off to a good start. But athletically, on the defensive side, so I was watching, so it was funny, Shasky. It was funny. Lupman's on the phone with me. We're going over the show or whatnot. And it got to the point where I'm not even... I thought we were past it, right? We're just on the phone. And we're on the phone in real time with Wilmer Flores. Can't even pick up a grounder from first base. He can't move. And what is that, the third different first baseman? I was asking you right before the show. How many first basemen have they played?
In spring training, they tried out Jock, and they tried out Lamont Wade at first base. Lamont has played first base.
He has played first base.
And he's already made an error. Okay,
J.D. Davis has played first base.
J.D. Davis plays first base. And I like J.D. Davis. If he had a position, J.D. Davis would play every day on this team.
All right.
But, and then you have Wilmer Flores. And don't forget, by the way, if they haven't tried Jock yet, but they will at some point. And you got to believe Darren Ruff, who they signed in the minor leagues, is coming up to play first base.
Well, that's the problem. So your platooning got first base. Your platooning got second base. Your platooning got third base. Your platooning in the outfield. Damn it, can I just get a first baseman? Can I get one first baseman? No. Can I get one second baseman? Can I get one third baseman? Let these guys know what their roles are. Instead, they got to pick up different gloves. Oh, one day I'll play in second. Yeah. One day I'll play in first. One day I'll play in third. That's not how you win high-level baseball games. But with all that said,
Lamont played 3 positions in one game.
Yeah, that's a joke. That's a joke. There's nothing to be proud of.
I know.
There's something to be proud of if you're the Giants. So give me some everyday guys. With all that said, they're going to compete for a wild card spot.
I know, because there's not a lot of talent.
There's not a lot of talent
in the National League.
But in terms of competing for the big stakes,
they're so out of it.
That's just not good enough.
Yeah.
Athletically, they're so far behind. Even Crawford going to his left. So he's lost some range. He's lost some range.
Slow.
Throwing the ball in the dugout. I mean, it's just not good enough. So I'm watching this team, and I'm thinking, damn, they don't stack up with the big boys. Now, it's a rough game. You lose to the Dodgers. You get embarrassed. But what's embarrassing now is Dodger fans feel like Oracle Park is Dodger Stadium North. They've officially taken that stadium over. We have a Dodger problem. They come to flood Oracle Park, and they feel like they're at home. They kick their feet up on the seat in front of them. They cheer. You hear the beat SF chants louder than the beat LA chants. They have taken over that stadium, and that, to me, I was sad.
I know.
That was the saddest part of yesterday.
But why did, like, here's what I would say is, like, you know, I watched Giants fans go out there on opening day, and I was out there, and we have a rabid fan base. Like, there are a lot of diehard Giants fans who will forever be Giants fans because of what happened in the early 2010s. And a lot of them were even before that, right? I want to give Giants fans credit. Monte, you've assembled a team of guys that no one has any attachment to. And then you tell us, like, trust us, trust that player, trust this guy. Well, we have no familiarity with any of them.
Well, that's the problem. I was thinking about this. I don't know if we talked about it or what. I over the weekend, I was just thinking about it randomly. The reason why I love Clay, the reason why I love Dre, the reason why I love Steph, they've embraced this community.
Well, and they've won.
And they've won, but they've embraced this community. Yeah. They've been here for a long time. How can I lock in on one of these Giants or start to love one of these Giants players outside of Brady Crawford? What these guys are on 1- and 2-year contracts.
Yeah, I know.
I can't grow with these guys.
Well,
Baby Chaz can't grow with these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Conforto got signed, right? And I've watched Conforto every game, and I go, all right, I see what they saw in Conforto. Like, there's a ball player in there. Now, I don't know if he could stay healthy or whatever.
That's the problem. He was a good ball player with the Mets, but he can't stay healthy.
But, like, okay, well, let's just say he has a good year this year. Not even a great year, B, a good year. He's opting out.
He's opting out.
And he's going to leave.
Like Carlos Rodon.
Exactly.
So I can't grow and start to love these guys. These guys, they're here for 6 months, and boom, they're gone. They're let out of the community. And then, with the Niners, you know Nick Bosa's going to be here a while. George Kittle's been here a while. Fred Warner Jr.'s been here a while. You've been able to, like, grow with these guys and grow to love these dudes.
Stick with the Warrior analogy for a second. Dante DiVincenzo, right? He's the 5th or 6th most important Warrior.
Maybe,
like, but I'm just saying, like, maybe he's a rental.
He's important. Just say he's important.
Okay, he's very important. He's a 1-year rental, right? Like, we love him. But, again, 4th or 5th or 6th, Conforto's like their 2nd or 3rd most important player. And so if he doesn't play or he doesn't play well, like, that hurts them. Simultaneously, if he leaves, that's a huge blow.
Right. And it's like, nice knowing you.
So, like, last year, Rodon was arguably their top 2 or 3 player.
Right.
Gausman the year before, arguably their top 3 or 4 player on the team.
He faded down a stretch, but he was solid.
He was really good. He was really, really, really good. So in back-to-back seasons, you lost very, very important players, and you didn't replenish them, and you didn't retain them. So I look at, like, the Warriors situation, like, okay, they lost Otto Porter Jr., all right? Well, they brought in Dante DiVincenzo. It's a pretty good makeup. But you still had Steph Curry. Right. You still had Draymond. You still had Klay Thompson.
You have pillars in the organization.
Exactly.
Jordan Poole feels like he could be a Warrior for a long time. Pillars in the organization. We've seen him grow, and they've given him a shot to play. Wiseman didn't work out. He moved on. Kuminga finally getting a shot to play. Feels like he's going to be a Warrior for a long, long time. Draymond Green got his shot earlier. People forget he was off the bench early in his career. David Lee gets hurt. He gets his starting lineup. He never looks back.
What's harder? Let me ask you this. I'm being serious here. Is it harder for a basketball team to find not heir apparents, but young, controllable assets, or a baseball team? Because I look at like what the old Yankees, they would bring up an Alfonso Soriano, a Robinson Cano. Yep. They would find these young guys. Dudes. And then you like the Warriors. I think what the Warriors have done is even more difficult. Yep. Trying to find a Jordan Poole, a Kuminga.
Because they're drafting low in the draft. Like, Kuminga was a lottery pick. I get it. But Looney was 14.
A lower lottery.
Jordan Poole was low in the first round. Yeah. Kevon Looney was late in the first round. When Festus got drafted, he was late in the first round. Who else do you want to go look at? Jacob Evans didn't work out. You move on. They bought picks in the second round to get those type of dudes to kind of fill holes here and there. And then they used their mid-level exceptions and said, okay, our 1 to 2 year option deals, we're going to use our veterans who can help us, but they could also complement the pillars that we have here, the foundation of the team, which is Steph, Clay, and Dre. The Giants have no foundation right now. That's the problem.
It's 5 years, and they don't have one player that other teams would covet on their big league roster.
None.
And like I look over, like Arizona just played the Dodgers, okay?
Yep.
They stole 18 bags over the first however many games. They're running like Corbin's a baller, Thomas is a baller, Rojas, Vargas.
Marte could play.
Marte. They've got Christian Walker at first base. They've got this pitcher who you're going to see, Jameson, that Joey and I were talking about. They've got a ton of talent. And I'm like, man, they're still a couple years away. I'm looking at the Giants, and I'm dead serious. I think teams would like Doval. I don't think they would covet him. Like, that's a different word.
He'd be their, seventh? He'd be the seventh inning guy. He may start for a number of clubs. He's got closer stuff.
Maybe. I don't know.
He's got closer stuff.
Yeah, I agree. He does have great stuff.
I think he's probably one of your best players, but you can't get to him. And when you get to him with the pitch clock, he hasn't adapted well, and you may get some rocky starts. That's just what the closer business is.
But how do they not? They can't, like, honestly, you have 1 million draft picks. You've got all these levels. You've got of minor leagues. You've got international free agency. You can't find one everyday player.
It's all about foundational pieces. Now, I see Howard on YouTube. You know, the Warriors analogy is pointless. It's revisionist history. Well, think about it.
No, I'm trying
we both.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, and the whole point of this exercise is they found foundational pieces and built around them and helped develop those foundational pieces as well as develop around them and built around Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. They did a great job with that. They get credit for that.
Yes.
They've had pillars in the community and guys we've been able to grow with. That's why you see all the Steph Curry jerseys. The Niners. You want to go to the 49ers? Say what you want about Jimmy Garoppolo, but he was here for 6 years.
I know.
You know, say what you want about George Kittle. He's been here forever.
Jimmy Ward was like a 9-year Niner.
Exactly.
And we tried to run him out of town.
Eric Armstead has been here for a long time.
8 years.
Nick Bosa been here for a long time. Frank Warner Jr.
Yeah.
The list goes on.
Good point.
I mean,
and that's the NFL where the turnover is way higher.
Way higher because of the salary cap. And the Niners have been able to retain pillars and foundational pieces and help build around them. The Giants, all we're saying is the Giants don't have any foundational pieces. They don't have one guy where I'm saying, 4 years from now, he's going to be our rock.
I think my biggest problem is that they have forced themselves, because there's no young talent coming in, that they have to go in free agency. And I don't blame them for signing a Mitch Haniger for a 3-year deal. Like that's all that's out there. That's the best you can do. Like, I don't blame you for signing Michael Conforto on a 1-year deal. The bigger problem is not those free agent signings. It's the lack of young, controllable players coming through. Not one.
Well, this is how long runs start, Howard. And Howard, thanks for understanding this. How did the Giants run started? Because they drafted, they developed, and they built around their foundational pieces, guys who were going to be here for a while. Matt Cain, Tim Lincecum, Madison Bumgarner, Jonathan Sanchez was an important. They
squeezed the lemon on him.
The core four in the bullpen. You had those guys together for 4 years. That never happened.
Well, and let's talk about Joey Bart for just a split second here. Like, I don't think Joey's any good, right? And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Out, but I do want to see him play.
I do too, but I hope I'm wrong. But I don't think he's very good. But part of being a great GM is identifying who can and can't play. Do you remember these two names? Madison Bumgarner and Tim Alderson.
Yep, Tim Alderson.
Okay. All right. Tim Alderson was, what happened? He was their number 2 prospect pitching-wise. And they were in the mix, and they traded him for Freddie Sanchez. Now, We've never heard of Tim Alderson since then.
No.
You know why?
Ever.
Because Brian Sabean discernibly said, Madison can help us, Alderson cannot.
Yep.
And I look at the Joey Bart thing and I say, all right, two things. You failed on multiple things. Number one, the prior regime identified probably the wrong guy. And that happens in the first round. Okay, fine. Number two, you didn't develop him. All right, that can happen too.
Right.
Maybe he's just not good enough.
Right.
But then the third part is, you have the ability to move off of that guy while they still have value, and you didn't do any of those
I don't think
things.
Joey Bart has any value.
No, now
honestly,
he doesn't.
I don't think he has any value, but I also think you need to let the kid play. Part of the problem is you didn't let the kid play. You didn't give him a shot. And granted, he's got to be better, but just say, hey, in the month of April, Joey, you're going to get all the at-bats. You're going to get day offs on day games after night, but you are going to play.
No, instead, they were playing a guy who's 34 years old who had a shoulder injury and batted 130-something last year in Perez, and it just like, what do you – like, you reference first base. First base, there's probably going to be 5 or 6 guys play first base this year. Catcher, I'm calling it now. You're going to see Gary Sanchez at some point. You're going to – they already have played 4 guys at catcher. You're going to see 5 or 6.
Well, you know – and I'm looking at the 209 Comcast business text line. My wife and I were watching the game. She kept saying, who the hell is this guy on the Giants? And as soon as the grand slam was hit, we checked out. Well, the problem is you need to get younger and more athletic. So why is he Casey Schmidt on his roster? Why aren't we seeing Ramos? The hell, where's Luciano at? Double A?
You know what they
where's Luciano in Double A?
Yeah, Double A. But
get him in the Major League Club by May.
They do this thing where, like, well, you can't have X amount of at-bats over, this. Do you know how many Volpe had, like, less than 20 at-bats at AAA. I don't give a damn about triple and double A and the seasoning. The big league team is just not fun.
They're not fun. So bring up all these guys. Why would it hurt to bring up? Because you're trying to win with these veteran guys who aren't going to win you anything. Let's face it.
I know.
These guys aren't going to – they can't compete with the Dodgers and the Padres. Wait till the Diamondbacks come in town.
They think there's nobility. I do believe that the Giants themselves think that there's nobility in just competing while you're developing.
That's not good enough.
I agree with you.
That's not good enough.
I would much rather you just admit who you were and just bottom out.
Everybody gets on the Warriors for the 2-timeline thing. What about the Giants and their 2-timeline thing? It's a joke.
It is. And then you took an entire draft's worth of pitchers one year, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, and none of them can make the big leagues?
It's
not like you have pitchers. Sean Jelly's one of your higher-rated prospects.
What did I text you guys last week? Nothing good happens when Sean Jelly is in the baseball game.
He's not good. He's a big
Nothing good happens.
And I'm rooting for the guy, but, like, you're not a prospect at 26.
All right, here we go, man. This segment was brought to you by Go
It's
to
a bunch of Brad Wanamakers.